Now we are going to continue our discussion on percentages, and from this session we are now going to discuss about one quantity as percentage of the other quantity. Okay. We have already discussed what is a percentage and how to convert fractions into percentages, decimals into percentages, and then percentages into percentages into fractions and percentages into decimals. We have done these things. Okay. Now we are moving towards the new topic, one quantity as percentage of other quantity. Okay. So in this question now you can see I have asked you to express 4 as a percentage of 12. Okay. So what we are supposed to do here, we are supposed to convert this into a percentage. We are being asked how much percentage of 12 is 4. There are different ways of asking this question, which I will discuss after I have discussed these questions. I will discuss in how many different ways can the same question be asked, so that you know which kind of language or what kind of set of words are going to ask you these things. First of all, what am I asking you to do? Express 4 as a percentage of 12. So when I say express 4 as a percentage of 12, so this question may also be asked, what percent of 12 is, what percent of 12 is 4? This is another way of asking the same question. And one more possible way could be express 4 out of 12 as a percentage. Okay, so these are two possible different other ways of asking the same question. There could be other ways, but obviously I am not going to discuss all of them here. Okay. Anyways, coming back to the original question, express 4 as a percentage of 12. Yeah, what percent of 12 is 4? Or express 4 out of 12 as percentage. If you look at this one, express 4 out of 12 as percentage. So I really hope that you can understand what 4 out of 12 means. 4 out of 12, 4 as a percentage of 12, and not that much. Okay. So both these things, when there are two quantities given, this is the first quantity and this is the second quantity, you only have to just be careful about one thing, and that is which quantity is out of which one. I have mentioned two quantities here, none of them is a percentage. This is the first quantity maybe, this is the other quantity maybe. The only thing that you have to be really careful about in these questions, when a question contains two quantities in it, you will have to be careful that what goes into the denominator of the fraction, what goes into the numerator of the fraction. Which fraction here, how many parts can be taken out of how many parts. For instance, if you give a test of 50 marks and you score 40, so what do you say? I have scored 40 out of 50. You never say 50 out of 40. So in the same way, 4 as a percentage of 12, most probably they are saying 4 out of 12. So first of all, we need to convert these words into a mathematical form. Okay? How can I convert 4 out of 12? I can write 4 out of 12 in this way. This is 4 out of 12. What is it? 4 out of 12. It is now a fraction. And as we have already discussed how to convert a fraction into a decimal, what was the procedure? Were we going to multiply it with 100 or we were going to divide it with 100? There are two possibilities. Either we divide it with 100 or we multiply it with 100. These are the two possible options. When do I divide? I divide when I have a percentage given. Percentage itself means percent, as I have told you in the previous video. Percent, which mean per 100. So when you have a percentage available and you are supposed to convert it into a fraction, only then you divide. This is not a percentage, and if it is not a percentage, I have no reason to perform division here. Now that I have no reason to perform division, so the only thing that is left for me to perform is multiplication. Okay? This is what we have discussed earlier. Whenever there is a fraction given and you are asked to convert it into a percentage, you multiply it with 100. So this is nothing new, it's just a different way of asking you the same thing. I have given you two quantities. These two quantities must be written in a fraction. While writing the fraction, you have to be careful which value goes into the numerator, which value goes into the denominator. Once you are clear about it, you get a fraction, and then how to convert a fraction into a percentage? The same procedure that we have discussed earlier. So I have got a fraction 4 out of 12 multiplied by 100. I will now try and simplify it. 4 out of 12 becomes 4 ones are 4, 4 threes are 12. What am I left with? I am left with 1 upon 3 multiplied by 100, and then 1 multiplied by 100 is how much? 100 over 3, and 100 over 3 is 33.33%, or this may also be written as 33 whole 1 upon 3%. These are the two options. So this is how, when we give you two quantities and we ask you to convert them into percentage, the first thing you will have to remember that you should be able to write the first quantity out of the other quantity. Once you have written it into that fraction form, you only need to convert it into a percentage by multiplying it with 100. I hope from now onward you will be able to convert given quantity as a percentage.